You are now listening to the Hot Take Hot Box.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Hot Take Hot Box. My name is Matt McSweeney. I am here to talk about WWE Raw from January 8th in Portland, Oregon. This is a YouTube original where I'm just going to break down what happened in last night's episode. If you like hearing my voice and hearing this kind of stuff, then I would subscribe to the channel. You know, make sure you comment on this. Let us know what you think about what happened last night. But we do all sorts of content like this: sports, MMA, UFC, and especially WWE. But first, let's get into what happened last night. The show opened up with Drew McIntyre teasing that he kind of was going to walk away from WWE. Things, everything he's done hasn't really been working, and that, he just kind of needs to take a step away. But then he reverts back into, it's this guy's fault, it's that guy's fault. Cody has all this political power. He brought Jey Uso. He's blaming everybody he possibly can. Then he blamed himself a little bit for putting Seth's, heel on the rope. Blamed Damian Priest for bringing the briefcase out during the match. He says, "Why would you do it during the match? You're an idiot. You screwed yourself, and you screwed me." And then he starts talking about how CM Punk's been gone for 9 years, and says, "Well, maybe I should just walk away." And then that's when CM Punk's music hit. Big pop. The two go back and forth with disses about the old days. When I was a kid, I needed your help. You weren't there. You were a bad locker room leader. CM Punk says, "Dude, I wasn't going to hold your hand. You're a grown man." So they go back and forth a little bit. CM says he was the example that Drew followed when he left the company, and went and got better. And CM Punk says, "I'm following your example by coming back here, being bigger, stronger, faster, and whatnot." There were some nice lines in this segment, especially the CM Punk, "I'm not a demon, I'm Satan himself" line. And I think it's worth going back and watching. The whole thing was a nice little segment to set up some heat for the Royal Rumble and maybe a future feud with the two. Potentially somebody eliminates someone. CM Punk says, I'm going to make sure you're the last one that I eliminate. So kind of gave you a little bit of hype and excitement for the Rumble. Next was a match with Finn Balor and Tommaso Ciampa. It was a little singles match. Ciampa cut a promo in the back, walking to the ring like through Gorilla, which was a nice little production wrinkle, adding some more stuff with the loss of Kevin Dunn from the fold. Ciampa won the match with some help from Johnny Gargano pulling out Finn Balor's foot while he was going for a suplex. And I think they're just kind of setting up a future tag team title match. Match didn't really do much for me, but it was a fun match. It was, had all sorts of interference and nonsense like that, if that's something that you're into. After that was a Becky Lynch backstage promo, just basically talking about the Nia Jax match from last year and how, she wasn't hospitalized. She's not, she's down, but she's not out. And that she's already moved on and she's ready for the Royal Rumble. She's already announced her involvement in the Royal Rumble. So congrats to Becky. She's, what a resilient person. Then we got Kofi Kingston and Ludi Kaiser. This match was pretty violent, honestly. And this is a whole Kaiser just trying to get revenge for Vinci getting hurt last week. I like when they turn something like real, which was Vinci getting injured, and they make it into some sort of an angle. It always, like I kind of talk about on all these videos, it adds an intensity, and it makes the wrestling feel real. So it just makes it more entertaining and enjoyable to watch. The match ended eventually in a double countout, which they were brawling on the outside, and they were holding each other back from going in. Then they got into a fight outside. The Jamie Nobles of the world were down there trying to break it up, but eventually he threw Kaiser over the announce table. Kaiser got up, picked an announce chair up, and threw it off Kofi's head, which, put him down. He looked like he was out cold. Ludwig's like, "No, I'm good. Then he started putting him on the steps, walked away. They got him out of there, and then he ran around the ring, drop kicked Kofi's head off the steps, and that's when it was like, "Get him out of here, Jesus Christ," all that stuff. So then they got him out of there, but Kofi looked like he was pretty messed up. And it just feels like this is going to continue to be a thing. I like when Ludwig has this little edge to him, and I like Ludwig as a singles guy. He's a good in-ring guy. He's a good personality, and I've always been a big fan of his. So it's good to see him spread his wings and do his own thing for once. Then we got a in-ring interview with Michael Cole and Nia Jax, basically celebrating her win versus Becky last week. She says she's going to win the Rumble and take someone's title when Rhea Ripley comes out to a massive pop. They go back and forth, basically, you're too scared to beat me one-on-one. Rhea's like, "Dude, I will cook you." kind of just setting up. If you win the Rumble, go ahead, come for me. And she's like, oh, I'm going to come for your title. Like, basically, she said Io Sky earlier in the promo, but she's like, no, if I win the Rumble, I am coming for you. So, potentially could be doing that at WrestleMania, it seems like. I'm not sure if that's the move. I don't know if that's the box office one that they were going to do. I always thought that they were going to go with Becky Lynch in that spot, but if that's what they want to do, then I do not blame them. After a commercial break after that segment, we got a little Cody Rhodes interview in the back. Shinsuke interrupts it, starts brawling with him. Eventually, they make that match a street fight, which is going to be the main event, Shinsuke versus Cody Rhodes. Just adding a little bit more intensity, trying to get everybody excited for the match, which you already kind of were. And then they moved into the Chelsea Green, Piper Niven versus Katana Chance and Caden Carter tag title rematch, where Katana Chance and Caden Carter had won the titles. I know a lot of you out there are saying, wow, this was like, no one's really saying that. These titles have been so stale, and just the people involved in these matches, it's kind of, we're just tired of it. Nobody really cares, and nobody was really shocked when Caden Carter and Katana Chance eventually retained the titles, and that was that. Then they played like an R-Truth, like emotional video, him talking about how he wants to be in the Judgment Day. He is in the Judgment Day, and they're like a family and stuff. If you haven't seen that, I would go find that on Twitter. It's hilarious. Then they got The Miz versus JD McDonough. They're going to kind of do this to kill some time. This is another just time-killing match. The Miz eventually wins. R-Truth comes down. Him and Dom get into arguments, and he gets involved, and he's raising the hand of The Miz. He's still in Judgment Day, so they're just going to keep doing this. So I think eventually this is going to get tiring, so they'll eventually have to go somewhere with this, but right now it's fine. Then we got a Seth Rollins segment where he's kind of just talking about how he's beating this guy, he's beating that guy, and like who is he really going to face at WrestleMania, and he's interrupted by Jinder Mahal. So Jinder Mahal was not just a one-night only sort of event. He is here, I guess, actually back. He actually has returned, and he's going to be involved in these matches because he basically just proclaimed that he wants the World Heavyweight title, and Seth obliges him. So I think they're going to do this next week, which is crazy to me. But, of course, that's going to be an automatic lock for Jinder Mahal to win. The only excitement could be eventually a Damian Priest cash-in of some sort, but they've been teasing that for so long, I don't think it's actually going to happen. But the genuine confusion on Seth Rollins' face when Jinder Mahal was coming down was absolutely hilarious. I this is what they're going to do. They're going to do. He's a fighting champion. Jinder Mahal was a former WWE champion. It's been a little bit since he's been featured or in the fold in a serious manner. So I guess we'll see what he's got in ring still. They eventually brawled, and Jinder left, but made sure he unbuttoned his shirt to let everyone know how absolutely jacked he is. But it looks like they're going to do it next week, so that'll be, probably the main event of Raw next week. Jinder Mahal versus Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. Then we got into Otis versus Ivar. Just two big fat dudes getting after it, for lack of a better word. I mean, they're husky guys. Typical Otis and Ivar match. Otis doing his thing. The caterpillar comes out at some point, doing athletic moves for a real bowling ball shaped man. Ivar flipping off of any top rope that he possibly can, or jumping off of any high structure that is available, because a big man like him should not be doing it, but he continues to do it. Eventually, he scores the pin on Otis, which not shocking whatsoever, and Tozawa wants to fight him after the match, so he's going to get cooked at some point. That was that. This is another kind of time-filling match. Then we got a Jey Uso backstage segment, all comedy, until Bronson Reed shows up, basically like, yo, watch your mouth. You think you're going to win a title this year? I'm winning a title this year, which was weird, but I think they're just setting up a little something there. I don't know if that means Jay's going to be going for the Intercontinental Championship. I don't know, because that's what Bronson Reed has had his sights focused on for, seems like, the better half of last year. So I guess we'll see where they go with that. Finally, we got to the street fight against Cody Rhodes and Shinsuke Nakamura. A lot of stuff happened in this match. I'm not gonna be able to go through every little spot or thing. Tables were involved, kendo sticks were involved. A timekeeper got misted at one point where Cody ducked out of the way, and then good guy Cody was trying to get him help and make sure that he was okay. This is your typical Cody banger. He always puts on incredible matches all the time. I wasn't shocked whatsoever. Shinsuke is another guy who puts on great matches. So with the heat behind this and all the drama that has been involved with these two, it was sure to be a good conclusion, I hope, to their story, because it's they've been dragging this on for a little bit. I mean, this match, the hype video started with like 40 minutes left before the end of the show. And then the entrances took forever. There was tons of commercials during this match, but all in all, I thought it was a pretty good match. Cody Rhodes eventually gets the win. Cody goes through a table. He kicks out and then eventually throws Shinsuke through the table, and then he hits the crossroads on him. 1, 2, 3, get him out of there. That is Monday Night Raw for January 8th. I thought it was an overall good show. There was a little bit more time-filling stuff that happened in this one as opposed to, it seems like some other Raws, but when you have a 3-hour show, you're going to get a lot of the different Ivar, Otis, JD, The Miz. Those sort of matches don't really do anything for the storyline or the upper echelon of the card when you're talking about maybe a Royal Rumble. I'm just ready for the Royal Rumble. I know we're still 3 weeks, under 3 weeks away from that. We're going to be 2 weeks by the time, under 2 weeks by the time the next Raw is. But I'm just kind of ready to go. Let's do it by now. I'm just, there's too much time in between Survivor Series and the Royal Rumble. It has just been dragging on, and I am ready to see what they do at the Royal Rumble, see what they do with the Fatal 4-Way, the Roman Reigns. There's a lot of shoes that need to drop, and we're going to need to figure out where a lot of these different people are going heading into WrestleMania. So I'll be back next week. I'll be back hopefully Friday. Talk about it. I'll be back. Me and my boy Dante eventually are going to have a pod. We got different schedules, so it's tough to line that up, but we will eventually be back to talk about everything you need to know heading into the Royal Rumble. So
you are now listening to the Hot Take Hot Box.